Hello buddy, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm gonna be showing you how to detect if a player is right clicking. So this will be with any item in your hand, but it will still use carrots on a stick like all right click detection in Minecraft. So this is for the Java edition of the game. I'm not sure how to do this for Bedrock editions just yet. I might try to figure that out as well, but for now only in Java edition. I'm in 1.16 right now, so it works in the newest version. And if you like videos like these with Minecraft content, then please make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video as well. But let's just get started with basic right click detection. So what we need to do is actually create a scoreboard for this. I also have some other stuff lying around over here with some examples with what you can do with this, but the first thing you need to do is create a scoreboard. So all of these commands will be in the description below if you need them. So we have here scoreboard objectives add, so we add one called test. And the criteria it has over here is if I use a Minecraft carrot on a stick. So every time I right click a carrot on a stick, this scoreboard will increase by 1. And then we need to show this scoreboard, of course. So just do scoreboard objectives, set display, and let's do it on a sidebar test. So this is just so you can see what's happening. So of course I've already done this. And so now if I grab a carrot on a stick, right click it, as you can see test is now at a value of 1. Right click it again, and it goes up each and every time I right click. Then next we have the command block over here. That's a repeat command block, and so this is an execute command, and it executes as random player in your server, and it's gonna execute at that player as well, and it's gonna execute if our targeted player has a score of 1 or higher with test. So if they have right clicked 1 or more times, and then it will say right click. So let's activate this. As you can see, since my score is higher than 1, it will say right click in the chat. Now of course we don't want this to happen every single time, so we have this command block over here as well. So this is the command block you're going to activate last. So this is another repeat command block, and it will reset all the scores on test. So let's activate it, and as you can see it reset our score. So if you now just type something in chat, there we go, right click, and you saw the scoreboard for a very brief amount of time, and it only shows 1 right click in the chat. As you can see, each time I right click it says right click in the chat. Now we don't have to have this carrot on a stick in our main hand, it can also be in our offhand, and this is where the other items can come in. So if you right click again, as you can see it works just the same. So you can also just have a repeating command block with replace item in your offhand with a carrot on a stick. So if you do that and activate that, as you can see I have a carrot on my stick in my hand every single time. You can take them out of there, but there will always be a carrot on a stick there. Even if you try to replace that item, as you can see it immediately changes over to a carrot on a stick. So now how to use this with different items. Of course over here where test it, you can add, for example, teleport 10 blocks up. So run, TP, the targeted player, and just do it 10 blocks above. So it runs at the player, so you can just use these squiggly lines like this, right click, and it teleports the player 10 blocks in the air where they are when they right click. You can also of course give them effects and do other stuff with this, set their spawn point when they right click. There's all different kinds of uses for this. But now let's get to the different items you can use. So for example here we check for if we have a netherite sword in our hand when we right click. So let me actually remove this one so it doesn't test for me right clicking anymore, and let's also unpower this one. So let's give ourselves a netherite sword, and let's also get a diamond sword just for comparison. So now let's activate this command block over here, so it says execute as a random player at the specified player if that player has a test score of 1 or higher, and if its selected item is a netherite sword. And then I will run this say command with right clicked netherite sword. So we've activated that. Let's also activate this one now. Okay, so we first need to right click. There we go, it set our test score at 1, and now we can reset the scoreboard. And now if we right click on the netherite sword, as you can see it says right click netherite sword. But let's try it with the diamond sword. Let's try it again, and nothing is happening. We can see this a bit clearer if we change this once again to, for example, a teleport command. So let's now do it, for example, 1 block in the X direction. So if you right click the diamond sword, nothing happens. If you right click the netherite sword, we get teleported 1 block in this direction, as you can see, each and every time, even through blocks. So this could be very helpful if you have, for example, a parkour map where you want the player to have something in their hand and then make a very difficult jump. So for example we have a 5 block jump over here, and let's see, it's very tricky of course, but you should be able to do it since we can jump 4 blocks normally, and then we also have the extra teleport block. There we go, I made it using this command. And of course you can set up multiple of these where it checks for different swords each time, and it does different things based on which sword you have in your hand. Now, still have this carrot on a stick in your offhand, so I would suggest that you create a texture pack where the carrot on a stick is invisible, so it doesn't show up on the screen every single time. And now I have one more thing I want to show you. Let's reset these. Okay, there we go. So that's with the wand of levitation. So this is just something I created. So let's give myself a wand of levitation. As you can see, it says wand of levitation, fly through the skies with this wand. And let's also give myself a stick, because this is of course just a renamed stick. Now let's activate this command block over here, and then I'll once again activate the reset scoreboard command. And now if we try to use the stick, nothing happens, but if you use the wand of levitation, as you can see, I gain the levitation effect. So the command can differentiate between a named item and just the normal item. It won't work with the normal item, but will work with this named item over here. So as you can see, each time I right click this wand of levitation, I get a little bit of levitation. There we go, levitation 2 for 1 second. Set this command over here. It's a very long command, so it's execute as a random player at their position if their score of test is 1 or higher, and if their selected item is a stick that has a display name of wand of levitation in gold and bold, and if it has a lore of fly through the skies with this wand in red and true. So even if one of these things is off, then it won't work. So for example, if we change this bold to false, so then we would have a wand of levitation that has the exact same stuff, except for that the lore is not bold. And now if you try this one, as you can see, it doesn't work anymore. It has to be exactly right. So then it will run the effect give at as levitation 1-1. Now there is a little problem with this, and that's that you can spam it. So if you right click the wand of levitation, you can right click it again anytime you want, and as you can see, you could just fly out of the map, and that's a bit tricky. So I have a little example over here of how you could fix this. Of course, this is a very ugly example of how you could do this. You could probably come up with better examples yourself. I just couldn't figure it out how to do it this clean. So let's unpower these, and let's also unpower the reset command over here. So now power this one, and now as you will see, if I change out the wand of levitation and the stick, some stuff happens over here. And I think I'm actually gonna remove that one. There we go. Let's just remove that for now. So now if I right click the wand of levitation, I'll just show all the redstone over here. Right click wand of levitation, I get levitation, and all of this redstone activates over here. And this redstone will not deactivate unless I remove this stick from my hand. So there we go, we remove it from our hand, and now this unpowers, this slowly unpowers as well, and now we can use it again. So let's try to right click twice. I'm right clicking, but nothing is happening. As you can see, the score is going up, but I'm not actually going into the air. Even if the redstone is off, it won't work. So I have to switch out to another item, and then back to the wand of levitation, and now I can right click again, and as you can see, now it works again. So it does work against the spam, and you could also, for example, if you try to right click, then switch to another item, switch back, it still won't work. As you can see, you still won't get levitation again. And so what's happening over here is that first I'm checking if I even have the stick in my hand. That's the first command block. And if I don't have the stick in my hand, it will just automatically reset the score. So if I have nothing in my hand or something else in my hand, it will automatically just reset the score. But if I do have it in my hand, that won't happen. And then it will check if I have a score of 1 and if I have the stick in my hand. So if that's the case, if my score is 1 as well, so that means if I have right clicked, then this one will activate, and that means that this command block at the end will activate, which will give the nearest player, in this case levitation. So I couldn't really figure it out how to do this for multiplayer, but in single player this will still work. And there's also just a pulse lengthener over here, so that means that it will activate and it won't activate again for a pretty long time. You can extend this pulse extender of course as well if you want to. And so you can see it in action here once again. I right click, this one will still be active because I still have a test score of 1 and I still have it in my hand, so this one is still active, and so this one won't decay. Once I don't have the stick in my hand anymore, as you can see, this one will activate, so it will reset my score and it will unpower all of this redstone, so now I can power it again. And I suppose you probably have a lot more questions about this. If you do, please let me know in the comments down below and I will try to help you out, but this is a bit tricky for me. I'm not very used to this, so I might not be able to help you out. We'll see what happens. Once again, all of these commands will be in the description of the video if you need them, and they'll all be in order as I showed them in the video. So I hope you enjoyed this video on how to test if a player is right clicking an item. And I want to give a quick thank you to my first tier 3 member, Scoreboard. He became a tier 3 member by clicking the blue join button below the video. You can do so yourself as well to check out the different tiers and their rewards. But now I want to thank you for watching this video, and I hope you liked it, and please, if you did, like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. But I want to see you in my next videos. Until then, bye bye!